Alrighty. He's pretty tall.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So who's gonna go first?
I will.
All right. And do we have any questions before we get started?
Will you just double check to make sure it's not too tight on him, so I get the right.
Whoa. Nope, it looks good.
Okay.
And that's already turned on. I think I saw the blue light flash.
Yes, that one's turned on. I haven't tested the perception.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just need to watch them.
Okay.
Okay. Just so it gets you familiar with the remote. Do you have any questions before we get started?
I don't think so.
Okay. So what we're gonna do here is on your remote, what is it currently set at?
I just have enough time.
Let's go to 15. Yeah. And when I say tap, you're gonna press that bumpy button. Okay, so we're gonna look at what's his name again?
Go.
Beau. We're gonna look at Beau and tap, tap, tap. No response. Let's go to 20. And if you land 21.19, it's fine. Just general range. Tap, tap, tap. 25. Tap, tap, tap. 30. Tap, tap, tap. 40. And this is normal, by the way. Tap, tap, tap. 45. We're getting closer. That's kind of like perception.
Okay.
Tap. Wait a moment. Tap, tap. 50. Tap, tap. Right there. We're gonna see what happens. Wait a moment. Tap, tap, tap. That's 50, right? 55. We're getting close. And tap, tap, tap. 60. Hey, Elias.
Yeah.
Tap. Would you get me a camera battery from my office, please? Tap. 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 We're gonna start there. Okay. So typically, I want a bigger reaction. Connection. I mean, contraction simply means you have connection. So if he's staring at something and you see this,
Yeah.
and he's still staring, you just have connection. There's nothing going on here. When you see with the perception, it's kind of like what's going on here. And then finally, we want to see a bigger movement. So ideally, I want to see him be more exaggerated
Yeah.
with what he's doing. But here, like he started to lay down and kind of sat up and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to start at that. Once we start moving and working with him, it's going to be more clear if it's the correct number. Okay? Questions so far? So what we're going to do is I'm going to demonstrate and explain the exercise, and I'm going to coach you through it. Okay? What side are you going to walk this guy on?
Right.
You walk him on the right. Okay. So you're going to have to remind me.
Okay.
Because I train traditionally on the left. So if I start talking about the left side, just tell me he's on the right.
Okay.
So if we're going to get Beau to walk at our right side, what we're going to do is every time he passes you, when I say turn, you're going to make a 180 turn to your left. Okay? You just said it right there. Thanks. And you go like this. Okay? If he passes you, I say turn, you go like this.
Okay.
He passes you, I say turn, you go like this. Okay, every single time when I say turn, you're just gonna 180 to the immediate left.
Okay.
Next thing I'm gonna say is tap. So we're gonna combine those things together. Beau gets ahead of you, I say turn, tap, 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 good. He passes you, turn, tap, 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 good. He passes you, turn, tap, 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 good. Okay, we're gonna keep repeating that. So you're gonna look crazy for a little bit. The next thing I'm going to say is pull to your right. So if Beau, as you're walking, goes to your left, I'm going to say pull to your right. You're going to keep walking, pull to your right, and tap as I say tap until he goes from your left side over to your right side. Okay? Questions? So what we want to do here is we actually want to give Beau slack. So hold it by that first knot there, and then step next to him. Oh, that's pretty good. So you see where the bottom, there's like a J there?
Yeah.
And your leash, lightly pull up, 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 tip,
Tap.
tip, tip, tip. Pull up a little more, right there, relax. Go ahead and stand next to him. Good. So you see how there's like a bit of a J, and it's kind of right by his armpit there? That's like the perfect length. Okay, it's enough length for him to get away from you, but not too much that's gonna get caught underneath his paws, and not too short that he can't do anything. So typically when people walk their dogs, they choke up and they keep it really tight, which I understand, right? Especially if you're dealing with reactivity and stuff, but it doesn't allow for him to make mistakes to be corrected for. And that's how, in my opinion, that's how dogs learn best, okay? He's given options, he makes the wrong decisions, we correct them for him, and we teach him what to do instead, okay? Questions? All right, so I'm gonna coach you through it. All righty, go ahead and forward, tap. So if I say tap, you just tap, right? So move forward. Turn, tap, tap. Good, keep forward. Good, turn, tap, tap. Pull to your right, tap. Good, relax, forward. Good, keep forward, tap. Good, turn, tap, tap. Good, keep forward. Tap forward, good. Tap forward, yep. Now turn, tap, tap. Good, what's your number now again? Number, what's the number?
60.
60, let's go 65. Good, forward, give slack, yep. Back to the first knot, there you go. Good. Turn, tap, tap, tap. There we go, good, keep forward. Good, now slow turn. Good, forward, tap. There you go, good. Good, slow turn. Good. Tap forward. Good, tap forward. Good, slow turn. Tap, good, relax, good. Slow turn, tap, tap, there you go, good. Keep forward, turn, tap, 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 good, relax, good. Forward, tap, now slow turn, tap, 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 good. Yeah, keep forward, good. Good, turn, tap, tap, good. Keep forward. Slow. Okay, tap, good, keep forward. Now slow walk, but keep forward. Yeah, slow walk, keep forward, good. Now slow turn. Tap, 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 good. Relax, good. Now slow walk, keep forward. Good, slow turn. Good. Good, slow. Good. Now slow turn. Tap. That's okay, keep forward. We're at 65?
Yeah.
Let's go down to 50. Okay, forward. Now slow, but keep forward. Now slow turn. Tap, good. Forward, good. Keep forward, good. Tap forward. Tap, good. Now slow walk, keep forward. Tap, tap, good. Slow turn, it's okay. Let's go down to 42. Good. Keep forward, tap. Right, now slow walk, keep forward. Slow turn, tap. Good. Now slow walk, So keep forward, tap, tap, tap. Keep your arm relaxed. Good. Keep forward, tap. Good. Good. Slow turn. Good. Now slow walk. Slower. Stop. Okay. All right, good. What are we seeing here?
He's getting tired.
He's getting what?
He's getting tired.
Getting tired? So here, let me have you do this. Lightly pull up on your leash. Tap. 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 Try grabbing by that second knot right there. Now pull up, tap, and relax. Good. He's getting tired? How?
And he doesn't seem to be resisting as much.
Resisting what?
Like trying to pull away.
Okay. Sure. Oh, sorry. So you're saying tired, like kind of giving in to like what we're? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Because I'm thinking tired, like fatigued.
Oh.
Okay. So I can see, because there was some training before, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I can see where the training's been done. Mm-hmm. So we're having to do. So you're not getting the clear. Oh, he's going over there, and I'm going to go over here type of deal. Okay. He started kind of within a range. So then once I saw him go off just a tiny bit, that's when I was saying turn. So I was trying to find every little opportunity to, because we have to get that in. Yeah. Okay, that has to be put in somehow. So if I get dogs that have already had training or have an idea of what to do, I have to kind of force mistakes to happen. Okay, so the abrupt turns were to kind of catch him off guard. Anytime we see him deviating. Okay, so like he got distracted by your sister a couple of times, like turn, tap to try to get him to come towards you. Or if he when you turn and he went off to the wrong side, pulling and tapping to bring him over to the correct side, right? And I was like tap, 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 trying to get 3 or 4 taps in, because the more he gets, the better he gets faster, okay? So we went up to like 75 or something, 65, and then at one point, then we dropped it down to like 50, right? And then again, we got a random yip, so when we went down to 42, right? But in the beginning, 65 wasn't doing anything, right? So because as we're doing this exercise, the more of the tap he gets, the more tuned in he gets to it, okay? So in the beginning, that's why it's so much higher, because when he's standing, it's kind of like he's like getting a mosquito bite or something, and it's like he doesn't care, and eventually like, oh man, this is like not going away. Then they care about it. Lightly pull up, tap, tap, good, and up again. There you go, and then relax, perfect. Is as he gets exposed to that contraction, all of a sudden he's like, hey, like this actually isn't going anywhere. This keeps coming back, right? So then he becomes more sensitive to it. So then it goes down, and then he becomes too sensitive to that. Then we go down again, right? So in the first session, this is super common, where we end up going pretty high up, and then as we go throughout the course of training, it goes down. Okay. Now, don't get married to a number. Don't think like, oh, we got it as low as 10 at Jesse's facility, because my facility is not outside. Okay. So you're always going to be adapting your number according to the environment, okay, in the situation. And eventually what you end up learning is, oh, when we're in the neighborhood, 45. When we see dogs walking, 75. And then once we're past dogs, back down to 45, And you just kind of go to these ranges intuitively once you get used to it, okay? Questions so far?
When we're like about to start a walk outside, is there like a base number I should start at and go from there? Just
right.
To, like see where he's at?
So what you would do is in the beginning, this week, every time you walk him, you're gonna go outside, you're gonna start with the potty break. Let him pee and poop first, okay? Get that out the way. Once he potties, then you're gonna find that working number. You're always gonna start 10 to 15-ish. So before you even do any walking, you wanna limit his range of motion, because it makes it easier to tell. Because if he's constantly moving, you don't know if he's moving because he's moving or because he's the collar, right? So I'll shorten the leash to kind of keep him still. 15, tap, 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 20, tap, 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 25, tap, 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 30, tap, 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 boom. Oh, okay, he must have felt that because he went from in front of me to my right side, right? I'm gonna start my walk at 30. Now, your starting working number versus when you're walking is gonna most likely be different. Because once you start walking, most dogs go into boom, right? They start to forage or pull or all that stuff, sniff everything. So then you start at 30, because that's what gave you the reaction. But then as you're walking, if he's pulling and you're turning and tapping on 30, but maybe he keeps going, he's ignoring it, or you're just turning and turning and turning and turning and it's not getting better, then we start to bump it. Okay, and I'll give you a structure for that later on in the class so you don't get too much like overload information. Other questions?
like going forward, should we be doing this on every walk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because reactivity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember, e-collar or prong collar, it's like a cop on a collar, right? When he has it on, he's going to be more well-behaved. When he doesn't have it on, he knows he can press those boundaries, okay? So here, it's nothing good or bad. In the beginning, expect to be doing a lot of, tapping and turning and stuff, because you're teaching the skill. Once he's learned the skill, the collar's just there, and its presence lets him know, like, okay, well, I can't get away with anything, because mom always reinforces what I'm supposed to do, okay? So the more strict you are, the better he is on the walks, okay? Other questions?
I forgot it.
Oh, it's okay.
I'll let you know.
Sure. So do you know how this exercise works in teaching him how to walk at your side?
I don't think so.
Give a tap. Just a tap. Yeah. Let's see what happens. This is an anxious guy. So let's say he was getting ahead of you, okay? Is for him, every time he passes you, he feels the collar. I don't like this. He turns around. Oh, mom's going that way. He catches up. It disappears. But then he would pass again. It would kick in. Hey, it's back. Oh, mom's going that way now. He catches up. It disappears, right? So he's learning, hey, every time I feel this, mom is always doing something different. She's always going the other way, right? So here, most people, when they try to teach the heel, they'll like shorten the leash and just say heel, right, as they walk with the dog. Or they'll keep walking, they'll give the slack, and when they correct the dog, they'll go, no, heel. And the dog will look, and they'll go, what was that for? But because you're going in the same direction, they don't understand why that correction happened, okay? So that's why we have to make it stupid obvious. Oh, you're gonna go that way? Sure, but I'm gonna annoy you until you come my way. That's why that working number is so important. Because if it's not concerning enough for him, he's gonna just keep going. And then you're gonna have to physically pull him. So most people try to physically control their dogs. I mentally control them. You control the brain, you control everything else, okay? So e-collar should never feel like an argument. So if you're starting to feel like that, you're probably too low, okay? So just keep that in mind. My 3-tap rule is simply, if I don't see a change within 3 taps, I bump that number. Guy his size, you can go in jumps of 5 to 8. Don't worry about exact number, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, whatever, because if you do, it's gonna take you forever, right? Because you're trying to get it really fine-tuned. It's just general range. If you land from 40 to 47, you're perfectly fine. 57 to 63, you're fine. 63 to 100, that's a pretty big jump, okay? Other questions? So go ahead and give that slack back. We're at 42 now?
Yes.
All right. So go ahead and forward. Good, slow turn. Good. Tap, tap. Relax your arm, keep forward. Tap, good. Good, slow turn. Good. Turn, tap, tap. Right, good. Keep forward. Slow turn. Good, keep forward, good. There you go. Now slow turn. Good, keep relaxed. Pull to your left, go right, tap, good. Good, slow turn. Good. Now slow walk, but keep forward. Slower. Stop. Good. Take 5 steps. Good. 3 steps. Good. 1 big step. Good. Go ahead and turn. Good. Go ahead and pick up your pace. Good. Now slow walk. Good. Slow turn. Slower. Good. And stop. There you go. Okay. And so I think I talked about it in the consult, right? I was like, if I take 5 steps, they take 5 steps. I take 3 steps, they take 3 steps. I usually talk about it, but that's what I'm talking about, okay? So we got that in here, right, in my facility. In order to get that outside, almost always, it's simply just the number, okay? As long as you're willing to go higher and override the environment, there's no reason why he shouldn't be that tight, okay? And that's the number one thing that holds people back, is they just feel bad, okay? So with the reactivity stuff, what we're trying to do here is he needs to have a frame of reference in order to know what that correction means, okay? So most people think, you know, we come over, we get the dog, let's look for dogs and punish the dog for being bad, okay? That's an approach, but it's not the approach, okay? The first thing we always do is teach how to walk correctly, okay? And I go, what does that fix? Plus, he needs to know what he needs to do in response. Because if he's lunging and barking and you're just tapping him, he's like, well, what am I supposed to do, right? So here he's like, oh, back off of the dog and come to mom's right side, okay? Or if he's like sitting, and don't think of this as a sit, okay? Think of this as a relaxed state, okay? Sit is physical control. So he could be sitting and want to be reactive, right? Like he's just thinking about like, I'm going to lunge when that dog gets in front of me, right? And then there's sit, but he's relaxed, okay? So obedience is, again, physical control, mechanical control. Behavior is that mental control. So if I step aside and he automatically sits and he's relaxed and the dog passes, we shouldn't see anything. If he starts to lunge and bark and I start remoting him, his reference point is going to be to back off into a relaxed state. Okay, so that's where this stuff is going to start to kind of stack. Okay. This first week when you're walking with him, whenever you see a dog, if you can, you want to immediately step to the side of the curb. You know, so usually it's sidewalk, grass, curb, right? And then you would turn in and face the stimuli. Okay. You would shorten your leash. So here, go ahead and shorten your leash. More, right there, okay? So here, you see how short you have it, but it's not tight, okay? Up, tip, tip, and relax. Good. So the reason why we do that is, one, we're limiting range of motion. If it's that short and he tries to lunge, he's not going to get far. Also, if you need to stop him from lunging, go up. You don't have to go that far up. Go ahead and grab by your first knot, go up. Right? You see how much more work you have to do? Plus, he has that much more length of leash to lunge forward. Okay? So, in order for him to did you get the phone call there? Yeah. Okay. In order for you to get him used to, or get him not be reactive, he has to learn to deal with dogs. Okay, now other trainers will tell you, oh, don't ever make your dog sit. Like, that's the worst thing you can do. They get so stressed. I'm like, he's gonna see dogs. Like, might as well put yourself in control and teach him how to deal with it where it's easier for you, and then you build on that, okay? So expect this first week to not be so fun, okay? Because we have to confront it in order to overcome it. See a dog coming right away, even if it's half a block away. Don't wait till you're closer. Already, just step aside, you shorten your leash, and you have your number. You know, so look at it, okay, I'm at 45. And you watch Beau. He's your responsibility. So you want to watch Beau and use your peripheral range to watch here. Because sometimes people will go, oh, you stepped aside for my dog to say hi, right? So you want to not get tunnel vision. You have Beau here. You have your leash short. And if you start to see him parking up, right there is when you want to tap. Don't wait for him to be lunging and barking, okay? Tap the moment you see him escalate. So ideally, if I can catch it early enough, he starts to escalate, tap. He does this, okay? He starts to de-escalate, and the dog passes, and he doesn't do anything, okay? You might also get an explosion. That's normal, okay? If you tap him and Beau escalates, your first instinct should always be pull straight up, okay? Never back, never up and back. Back escalates, and up and back escalates. Straight up. Straight up de-escalates, okay? Now straight up with the e-collar de-escalates even quicker. Now I am gonna limit you on a few things. Go ahead and anchor yourself, take a step forward. Right there. Lightly pull forward, tap, tap, up, right there, and then relax. You don't want to adjust to him. You always make him adjust to you, okay? So when you step aside and you tap him for the early escalation, if he explodes, I'm gonna have you give a couple of taps at whatever number you're at, and if it's not working or if you feel like it's getting worse, lay off the remote, just keep up on the prong collar, okay? Pulling up will help you at least contain him. The person passes, and I'm gonna give you the information, and then I'm gonna let you use your better judgment, okay? So since he's a bigger guy, one of the things about addressing reactivity that we always keep in mind is redirected aggression, okay? It's where the dog is so amped up and so agitated, tip, and up, tip, there you go. It's so agitated that they redirect towards the closest thing, which is gonna be you or the leash, okay? So if I'm tapping the dog and they're super pissed off and they turn around and try to bite, they're gonna try to go for the handler. So what we do is what we call the up and away, is where we pull up and away from us. Because if they try to come to us, since you're so close to the collar, he can't reach you. And if he tries to go up, well, since you're already going up, you're gonna go up with him, okay? So we keep him contained. So if you're applying too much pressure, it's not the collar making him more aggressive. It's that he's so pissed off and you're not at the correct number yet that it's gotta go somewhere, okay? All that discomfort and frustration, and dogs release frustration through their mouths. So like, that's why like with puppies, when they start to nip at your pants and stuff, a lot of times they're frustrated because they want to play, and that's how they get people to, or not people, but that's how they get other dogs plays, by nipping and biting at them. It's also frustration, okay? So same thing here. So if you feel like that's happening, lay off the remote, just up and away on the prong collar, let it pass. Oh, 45 didn't work, okay? Now if you want to start addressing it, then go, if 45 didn't work this time, the next time I see a dog, I'm gonna be at 50, right? I'm a little bit higher. I repeat the process. Oh, 50 didn't work. 55 next time. So you're always prepping the number prior to the moment so that you're building on each experience. Because if it didn't work the first time, probably not gonna work the second time, okay? Questions about any of that stuff?
If we're like across the street and he becomes fixated on a dog, would that be a good time?
You could tap. Now, if they're across the street and like they're going like this and you're going like this, and he's like this and you tap him, it should just simply look like that. Where you're telling him, don't worry about that dog. We're going this way. Yes, okay. There's, in the beginning, you're gonna be super strict on things, because the more opportunities you give him, it's gonna kind of just always be there. And eventually, as we get him in a good place, and you're like, man, his reactivity's gone down a lot and all that stuff, he's more relaxed, then I can start to be a little bit more lenient. Okay, so it's like, I don't care if he looks at a dog. I don't. I just don't want him to be reactive. But in the beginning, you're not gonna know how to tell the two, so we just assume. And I go, don't even worry about dogs. We're doing this right now, okay? Now I'm gonna point out a couple of things, is you tend to pet him when he's anxious. You're actually telling him to be more anxious, okay? So petting is a reinforcer. So if you tell him to sit, we would pet him. Good boy, right? So when you touch him or when you give him a treat or anything, you always wanna think, I'm reinforcing what's going on right now. So if you're to be lunging and barking at a dog and you're like, hey, it's okay, buddy, you're trying to soothe him, and I understand that, but he's just thinking, keep lunging and barking at this dog. Yes, right? So right now, because he's anxious in this environment and you're petting him a little bit, you're telling him, yeah, you should feel anxious here, okay? So instead, what we would do is tap on the remote to break the mindset, or to see if we can break the mindset, right? If you were to tap him here to get up and move, then you would pull up and tap him, because he should be keeping that butt down, okay? Now, when he first showed up, he was more vocal, and as you've done more stuff with him, he's become less vocal. You see that? It's because of the pressure and the discipline. Now you're starting to soothe him and calm him down, because that's what another dog would do. They would just come and bite him, like cut the crap. But for humans, if someone's getting anxious, you would say, like, you would try to console them, or you try to help them through it and all that stuff, right? We talk to them, we talk about feelings. Dogs don't do that. Dogs simply correct what they don't want, okay? So here you have to take that approach. And I'm not saying I'm against affection. I'm just saying be mindful of when you apply the affection, because you could be unintentionally reinforcing things. And then your steps forward, steps back, okay? Other questions?
Not related to leash walking, but we have problems with like whining.
Yep. Now here, lightly pull into your side, tap, up, tap, better.
But then like it becomes so annoying that there's like stop, which I know isn't good. Would you like incorporate the e-collar for that? Or
Is this in the home?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll explain it to you real quick, and then if you would send me an email to remind me, and I'll send you some videos.
Okay.
It's what we call a bunker. Okay, it's just a rolled up towel. You can use hair bands or rubber bands to keep it shape, and I suggest you make like 2 or 3 of them. Okay, so it's a firm but soft surface, and you literally use it to bonk the dog. Okay, so remember, another dog would just bite him. If dogs were annoyed by whining and stuff, they literally would just go over and just bite the dog and say like, cut it out. Okay, so here the bonker gives you a means of physical correction that doesn't make you reliant on the e-collar. Okay, this is what you can use inside the home for anything you want to stop: jumping, licking, chewing, biting, barking, whining, begging for food. Anything that you just want him to not do, you just use this tool. Okay, and you want to correct the moment the behavior begins. Okay, don't wait there hoping he's going to calm down on his own, or that he's going to listen to like the word of, hey, Elias, don't put Winnie because she had diarrhea earlier, so we're not sure if she's sick. Okay. Immediately, because what happens is people tend to give the dog a window. They're like, please be a good dog so I don't have to bonk you, right? Just correct them right away. Okay, so one of the dogs that we had here earlier for daycare for like 3 weeks or so, the dog was just barking at them and like not listening and stuff inside the home, and they were trying to do the bonker, and then she would just take the bonker and play with it and stuff like that. So they're like, how do we fix something the dog thinks is a toy? So growing up, when I got too big for spanking, one day my mom spanked me and I laughed, and then she was like, oh, you think this is funny? And she just kept spanking me until I started crying. Okay, now she was proving a point, but then I was like, oh shit, like I need to respect, like this is not a game, right? So she's like, do you think you're that tough? It's the same thing for dogs. So if I go tap and pull in a little bit, tap, tap, anchor yourself. So you want to keep forward, 1 step forward. Okay, now forward on the leash, sorry, right there, and then stop. Good. So, because you accidentally took a step back like this, and instead you want to just always anchor yourself and make Beau come in. So in their case, I told them the same thing. I said, you're trying to bonk your dog, and your dog is laughing at you. So I was like, when you go to bonk him the next time, have more. And she's going to pick up that bonker, and you're going to just keep bonking until eventually she's going to go, crap, this is not funny. This is not a game. And she's going to disengage. And ever since they did that, huge change within the home. Okay, so you're not being mean, and then people think like, well, what's the difference between discipline and abuse? Like, because you're not doing it for no reason, right? If he's whining and you've tried like treats or CBD and all this other stuff and it's not working, it's because that's not what dogs do. Dogs just bite each other, right? And it's just a rolled up towel. Like, you're not going to kill a dog. And the 3 videos that I'll send you is how to make one, how to use one, and then you'll see a trainer actively using one, and you'll see exactly how much force he puts behind the bonk, and it's like a 4 to 6 month old puppy. So he's being serious. This is already a grown dog, okay? And here, with you being strict with the discipline and stuff, the panting is okay. The anxiety has to go somewhere, okay? Panting is venting that anxiety. Whining is practicing the anxiety. That's the difference, okay? So if you bonk him and he yips and he starts panting, but he's quiet for 30 minutes, perfect. That means your correction resonated. Does that make sense? Other corrections, other questions? You want to give it a shot? All right, let's go and swap handlers. Tap, good. Oh, it's going to be the bumpy button. Good, now relax your arm. Okay, now relax. Right arm all the way down. There you go. Now turn to your left. Tap. Good, relax. Relax. There you go, forward. Good, just keep forward. Good, now slow turn. Good. Relax your arm. There you go. Turn, tap, tap. Good. Keep forward. Good. Yeah, just ignore this, just keep forward. Now slow turn, tap, tap. Good, it's okay. Keep forward. Now slow. Good. Keep forward, yep. Turn, tap, tap, tap. Good. Keep forward. Good. Good, now slow turn. Good. Now go ahead and pick up your pace here. Good, now slow. Slow turn. Good, go ahead and pick up your pace. Good. Good, slow turn. Good, now slow walk. Slower. Stop. Good, 5 steps. Good, 3 steps. Good, okay, go ahead and turn. Good, keep forward. Good, slow turn. Good, slow walk, keep forward. And stop. Good, lightly pull up on your leash. There you go, and then relax. Okay, and you want to take that step forward. So remember, never move to him, okay? So here, yeah, keep where you are. Now lightly pull forward, tap, could now, there you go, like that, now relax, perfect, okay? And I know it's a habit for a lot of people. They're so used to moving into the dog or giving into the dog, right? Like if the dog stops, they stop and all that stuff. Not anymore, okay? A lot of that stuff that we do is part of the reason why they have problems, okay? Because every time he does that and you respond, he's going, oh, I controlled the situation. You're accommodating me, okay? And he always has to accommodate you. So here, you see how easily that transfers in terms of the focus and everything? So e-collar is super simple when done correctly. It should transfer that easily as long as you're at the right number and you're doing the same things, right? You're tapping at 42. So 42 with you is the same thing as 42 with you would be the same thing as 42 with me, okay? So here, before you were turning and coming to a stop on some of these, what was I telling you to do?
Slow down.
Yes. Why?
So I guess so he can't set a pace.
Okay.
To like change. He has to do what I'm doing.
Yes, right? And what does it show us?
That I'm in charge.
What were you gonna say?
That she's in control.
What else?
That he's listening.
Yes, that's the big one, is that he's listening, right? So like, let's say you're on a walk, it would be unfair if you just turned randomly so like if I'm walking and I'm like, oh, I gotta turn left, and I just turn left like that, he's not gonna know that, right? It's too abrupt. So you guys drive, right? What do you do before you stop?
Slow down.
Slow down. What do you do before you, what do you do before you turn?
I look both ways.
What else? What else? If you're going fast. Yes. So if you're driving and you abruptly stop, whoever's behind you is going to crash into you. So you have to pump your brakes, slow down to let them know, like, hey, I'm doing something different, right? Same thing with the turn. You know when you're going to turn, right? So you got to put on your blinkers, slow down so you can make that turn. Because if you're going fast, you can just slip your car, or you're going to just cut someone off, right? So you have to slow down, find your opportunity, sometimes speed up, but for the sake of the example, slow down. Same thing for Beau here, okay? You want to slow down to let him know, hey, something is changing. If he slows down, that means he's being mindful of us. If he doesn't slow down, he's going to pass you, so then what are you going to do?
Turn.
And?
Speed up. No.
You were right, turn in.
Turn and slow down. Turn and stop. Oh, turn and tap.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the tap is the correction, right? So the turn is to redirect him. The tap is the correction of like, hey, wrong way, okay? So anytime he goes ahead of you, turn and tap, okay? So the slowing down allows you to test, is he actually paying attention, okay? So if you slow down and he keeps going, he's not paying attention. Turn, tap, correct him, bring him back onto that hip, okay? So if you come to, like, let's say a red light and you slow down to come to a stop, he should slow down and come to a stop with you, okay? If you slow down and he keeps going, turn and tap. okay? So changing pace is something that you can do to see if he's paying attention or not, okay? Stopping abruptly or turning abruptly would be tap, tap. Now lightly pull up on your leash, tap, tap, tap. Good, and then relax. Good. Stopping abruptly or turning abruptly would be unfair, right? Like so today we had to do it because I could see like I have to create distance in order to use remote to teach him to move to your side, okay? But now that he's got a good concept, that's why when you're walking, he's curving in like this because he thinks you're going to make a left turn. That's why a lot of that's happening, okay? So I can see he's got the concept now. So now when you walk out in the real world, we're going to have more to contend with. Tap. Good. And then stay where you are. Lightly pull in. Tap. Tap. Right there. And relax. Now in the real world, you're probably going to get forging. Okay? It's going to be more obvious. So when you do those turns, it'll be easier for you to see like, oh, this is what Jesse was talking about. As opposed to in here because we have to force it to happen. Okay? Questions?
No.
What are we at right now? 42?
Yeah, we're still 42.
Okay. We'll keep it there. I'm going to have you go ahead and move forward. Good. Turn. Tap. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Good. Get ready for a turn. Good. Tap. Yep. There's a little bit of a delay there. Good. So you see how it kind of angles in like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's because you keep turning left. Okay.
Should I try to turn right?
So this week you're always going to turn left.
Okay.
If you have to turn right, that's fine. But for the sake of this exercise, left, especially if you're doing a correctional turn, it'll always be to the left. Okay, because turning to the left will bring them to your right. If you turn to your right, it's going to bring them to your left. Okay? Shh. Good. Going to pick up your pace. Good. Yep. Going to speed up. Good. Good. And turn. Yep. Now slow walk, but keep forward. Good. Turn. And slow. Slower. Stop. Good. Okay, now here, lightly pull into your side. Tap. There you go, like that. Okay. And if he lands a little too far off, just using that as an opportunity to correct him. The more you tap him and stuff, the better he gets, faster. Okay. So any opportunity you see, use it to use the collar. People tend to give the dog the opportunity to be a good dog. I use every opportunity to make him be a good dog. Okay?
He's not there yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit. Questions about any of this stuff? So, for this week, your homework is every walk, you're gonna do this, okay? Remember, first start off with the potty break. Once he's done his business, find your working number, then start your walk. Earlier I mentioned about bumping your number after too many corrections. Every time you do a turn and tap, think of that as one correction, okay? So let's say you're at 40, turn and tap, turn and tap, turn and tap. He's still pulling, 45, reset. Turn and tap, turn and tap, turn and tap, still pulling, 50, reset. Turn and tap, turn, just keep repeating. So every three turns, within a short time frame, we reset the count, go up 5 levels, and try again. Eventually, you're gonna hit like 70. And all of a sudden, when you hit 70, boom, he's right at your side again. And then you're able to walk, tap. You're able to walk for like 10 blocks with no problem. Okay, so that tells me, 70 was a good number because I was able to cover a lot of distance without having to correct them very much. Does that make sense? The word we're going to use to release, I use the word break. Break means your job is done. It's like, let's say you want to stop to give them another potty break. What you're going to do here is pull forward, tip, and then up. There you go, then relax. Good. If he starts nudging at your hand, the more you pull it away, the more it draws him to it.
Oh.
Okay? So here, what we did is just move him away from your hand, right? Because he was back here. So I just moved them in front, and then this way you can be relaxed like that. So, break means your job is done. So like, let's say you come to a stop, he stops with you, and you decide, I'm gonna give you another potty break. Beau, break. Then you let him pee, poop, and do his doggy thing. And then once you're ready to go, you start tapping, walking, he comes back to your side. We go back to what we were doing before, okay? Typically, dogs have stress on the way back home. So what I was suggesting in the beginning, until you learn, just get a feel for him, is if you leave 5 minutes one way, give yourself like 15 to 10 minutes to come back home, okay? Because on the way home, he's gonna go, I'm tired of this game. So he's gonna try to forge and pull ahead. So this way you have time to turn and correct and keep bumping your number as needed until you can make your way home without any of those issues, okay? If you come across a situation where it's like, man, this doesn't look too good with like another dog or something, feel free to cross the street, use your better judgment and stuff. If you feel like you're not getting any change in that reactivity and stuff, you can start to just avoid it, and then you'll let me know, and then we're gonna make some adjustments to the levels and all that stuff. But we have to start confronting it now to see where are we at. If you see he's reactive sometimes, but not all the time, take notes of when he is reactive and when he's not reactive. Like, oh, like little puppies and calm dogs, he doesn't care about. But if they're barking at him, he barks back. So I have information, because some of it's gonna be normal, and then some of it may not make sense, so then I got to figure all that stuff out. Okay? Anything else?
When we're giving him a potty break and we say break, would we just like let like a little bit more slack go on the leash so he can go off and sniff, or like how would we kind of signal to him that he's okay to break?
So if you go from sidewalk to grass and you say break and you walk him to the grass, and I let the slack go. Okay? And then just be mindful of the environment in case there's dogs or whatever. If there's dogs, you can always just step next to him, pull up, tap him into a sitting position, and then shorten that leash. Wait for it to pass, break, and then let the slack go again. Okay? Other questions?
Do you think it would be an issue if Lauren and I were walking in together?
Yes. So this week I would do solo or one in the back. Okay? Because if one of you is in the front, it's going to be harder for him to stay at your side. So for the beginning, I would say if it's going to be both of you, one behind and the other in the front with Beau. Okay? Other questions?
How do you think he did for his first day?
They're fine. I mean, he's anxious for sure.
He's always in.
Yeah, so we're gonna see how that works. See if he starts to get better with it. You can also disagree with the anxiety, like when we were tapping and stuff, to just kind of calm him down. As we progress, we'll get a better feel of it. Okay? Anything else? Tap, tap. Good. All right, so good job. If you have any questions, the email I emailed you from, you can ask me there.